1, 2, 3.
Yeah!
Hello and welcome to Uncovered A Cappella. I'm your host, Brian Michaels. This is the premier a cappella podcast featuring only originals, no cover tunes. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Here's Uncovered A Cappella. Hello and welcome to Uncovered A Cappella, our inaugural episode. I'm your host, Brian Michaels. This is episode number 1. Every week, we're going to bring you 3 great original a cappella songs. For the first couple episodes, I'm going to kind of tell you a little bit about myself and my background and how I got involved in this whole a cappella thing. So let's back up to 1989. I actually started working in radio when I was in high school at the age of 15. Started working at an oldies radio station, which was great for me because I grew up listening to the 50s and 60s. Even though it was way before my time, I just loved that music. Loved the doo-wop groups of the 50s and 60s and the harmony groups, the Beach Boys, Dion and the Belmonts, the Temptations. In the 80s, I loved Billy Joel and especially his song For the Longest Time, and even groups like New Edition kind of kicking off the modern boy band thing. And of course, 1987, any true diehard a cappella fan, the Nylons from Canada hit the US charts with their versions of Happy Together and Kiss Him Goodbye, which I still have both of those on vinyl on 45. But even then, I didn't really know what a cappella music was. I just knew I liked the harmony. I don't think I had ever heard the term a cappella. If I did, I don't remember it. In 1991, summer of 91, I went and saw Huey Lewis in the News at the Minnesota State Fair. And anyone who's ever seen Huey Lewis in the News knows that one of the best parts of that show is halfway through the set, they actually put down all their instruments and all the members of the group come forward, and they usually do anywhere from 4 to 7 a cappella songs, classic doo-wop, like It's All Right. Such an experience. I actually remember driving home from that concert and asking my buddy who went with me, what did they call that again when they sang without instruments? Because neither one of us could remember. Jump ahead just a few years to 1993. Specific date I actually remember very vividly, May 3rd, 1993. As I mentioned, I grew up listening to oldies music. I was a huge fan of Bobby V. It was actually the first concert I ever attended in my life when I was in 6th grade. But this specific day, May 3rd, 1993, it was Bobby V and Tommy Rowe in concert with a very special opening act. And as Bobby V introduced him that day, those a cappella funky fellas, the Blenders. I had never heard of them, didn't know what to expect. As they took the stage, completely blew my mind. So for our very first song on the inaugural episode of Uncovered A Cappella, we're going to play one by the Blenders, and this is the one that, if I remember correctly, they actually sang that day. Here's the Blenders off of their CD Totally Whipped, their song Together.
1, 2, 3.
Singing out harmony, separated individually, but together, I don't know where I would be without the other 3. Tell them all these guys. Something like that. Singing out harmony, separated individually, but together. I don't know where I would be without the other 3. Whoa, 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 whoa. One of these days we're gonna make a deal. We'll be right back and show you right here. Oh yeah. Cause we think we got something real special, something real special. Something real. Don't know where I would be. Kick it. Woo. Get that. tune, microphone in one hand, and we're singing like no others. Voices singing out harmony, separated individually, but together, together. I don't know where I would be without the other three. Whoa, 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 give it one more time. Voices singing out harmony, separated individually, but together, together. I don't know where I would be without the other three. You just have nothing to voices singing out harmony, separated individually, but together, together. I don't know where I would be without the other three. Whoa, 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 whoa.
And that was Together by the Blenders. Now, after that day in 1993, I got hooked on the Blenders. I started going to their concerts whenever I could. I drove probably a 2 or 3 state area to see them if it was within driving distance and I didn't have to work. I got in my car and I went and saw the Blenders. I'd see them at high schools, at theaters, at casinos, wherever I could. Fast forward to 1997, July of 1997, the Fargo, North Dakota Street Fair, the Blenders were doing a concert. And they talked about a brand new website they had. Now, you got to think back, any of you that remember 1997, websites weren't really that popular yet. Not a lot of people had them. They were just kind of starting to, not really explode, but to make a little bit of waves. And so I went back to the radio station I was working at the time. It was an oldie station in West Fargo, North Dakota. And I sat down and brought up our search engine. Now back then we didn't have Google or even Yahoo or Bing. We had Alta Vista was the big search engine of the day. So I typed in Blenders into Alta Vista trying to find their website. And of course found a lot of things to buy kitchen utensils and kitchen equipment. So that didn't help. So I typed in Blenders A Cappella. And actually, instead of the Blenders website popping up, the first two that popped up were a website called singers.com, which was a company called Primarily A Cappella, which sold nothing but a cappella music. The other website was the Contemporary A Cappella Society of America. I started looking through these sites and reading about all these different groups, and I did what any good radio DJ would do. I contacted these organizations, said, hey, I work in radio. Send me free CDs and I'll play them on the air. To be 100% honest, I had no intention of playing them on the air. I just wanted free CDs, and who knows, maybe the groups would be good, maybe they wouldn't. So a few weeks later, after talking to John Neal at Primarily A Cappella and Deke Sharon at the Contemporary A Cappella Society and learning a lot more about a cappella music, I actually had about 12 CDs in the mail, and they were actually good, and I actually wanted to play them on the air. So I started talking to my boss. I was actually hosting a show at the time called That Was Then and This Is Now, where I'd play an oldies song from the 50s, 60s, or 70s and a remake from the 80s or 90s. So I started casually sneaking in the remakes as a cappella versions. It became popular, so I actually pitched my boss the idea of doing a weekly a cappella radio show, and he said yes, surprisingly, Sunday nights at 9 o'clock. So I just needed to plan it now and find more CDs. So I started contacting more groups. I got back a hold of John Neal and got back a hold of Deke Sharon and started contacting more groups. And Deke Sharon put me in touch with a gentleman named Carl Schroeder, who at the time was the Minnesota ambassador for CASA and also was the founding member of a group called Foreshadow based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. So I contacted Carl Schroeder and talked to him and learned about him and learned a little more about CASA and learned about his a cappella group Foreshadow that actually started in college as a group called Fourscore and went pro after they left college. And he told me they were going to be singing that weekend in St. Cloud, Minnesota at the Women's Showcase at the Civic Center. So I decided to drive down and check it out and went down and actually saw Foreshadow perform 2 or 3 times that day. So for our second song in Uncovered A Cappella, this is Foreshadow's first CD, One Leg at a Time. It's an original one written by Carl Schroeder. The song is called Snowblind.
Just when I thought I had things nicely sewn together, you swept into town and you blew me apart. When I've grown to be so cynical, too many tears and fears in the name of love, but something about the way you look at me, you caught me off guard. Tonight you and I, well, we'll take a walk down Kellogg Boulevard, stop by McGovern's and have ourselves a drink. And I somehow, sometime, somewhere deep inside of me, I'll find the nerve to tell you what I'm thinking. Ooh, girl, you drive me crazy. Just one look and I can't help but smile. Ooh, girl, there's something in those eyes that tells me I have got to have you by my side. Westbound on 94, he finds himself looking back to the east. The hazy glow of November snow in 100 headlights. Seems like only yesterday. Time held still as he held her close. Now she lies awake and calls his name in the middle of the night. Better turn the mountain wild pound. Better Ooh, girl, you drive me crazy. Just one look and I can't help but smile. Ooh, girl, there's something in those eyes that tells me I have got to have you by my side.
And that was Snowblind by Foreshadow. You're listening to Uncovered A Cappella. I'm your host, Brian Michaels. Every week, 3 great original a cappella songs from 3 different artists. Now, around the same time I contacted Carl from Foreshadow, I actually called every local college and high school within about a 100-mile radius looking for groups and didn't have a lot of luck, but at a local college, Concordia College in Moorhead, Minnesota, I found out there was about 5 or 6 a cappella groups at Concordia at the time. I talked to their choir director and he gave me contact information. I left a lot of messages and one group called me back. I told him about myself on the message. I told him I was doing an a cappella radio show and one group called me back. I got a call back from a gentleman named Kevin Taylor and he told me about a group he was in called Marcoux Corner, spelled Marcous. Marcoux Corner. Found out later on it was named after an old roadside bar near Crookston, Minnesota, in northern Minnesota. But they told me they were going to be singing at Borna's Bagel Bakery that week and invited me to come check them out. And so I did. I went and checked them out. They were really good. Actually, they turned out to be one of my favorite groups. Became really good friends with them through their whole career. They ended up actually going professional after college and touring for about 10 years. So our final song on the inaugural episode of Uncovered A Cappella is the first original song released by Marcoux Corner off their EP. This one is called Your Kisses.
Brought us together for a simple reason. In this world you knew that I couldn't say forever, and now that forever is a memory. Now I just keep thinking about the days that we've had, and I know I just keep pushing you away. Well, your kisses are falling down on me, even though I ask you for a chance to set me free. Well, I know that I will make it through eventually, but in the meantime your kisses are falling on me. Shoo-doo, yeah. Shoo-doo, shoo-doo, yeah. Shoo-doo. Cobblestone churches and mountains rise slowly as the sun shines on my wide open fields. Moonlight like diamonds on the ocean between us. Warm summer breeze blows your memory across, like a message that's been floating over years across the waves, in a bottle that's been thrown and tossed. Well, your kisses keep falling down on me, even though I ask you for a chance to set me free. Well, I know that I will make it through eventually, but in the meantime your kisses are falling on me. Shoo-doo, shoo-doo. Well, I made up my mind till I saw your face, then a piece of me died with just one embrace. Now I still spill those tears that I cried. Well, your kisses are falling down on me, even though I asked you for a chance to set me free. Well, I know that I will make it through eventually, but in the meantime your kisses are falling on me. Shoo-doo. told you my reasons because I believe them. Pledges and promises fading away. 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 Well, your kisses are falling down on me. Even though I ask you for a chance to set me free. Well, I know that I will make it through eventually. But in the meantime, your kisses are falling. Well, your kisses are falling down on me. Even though I ask you for a chance to set me free. Well, I know that I will make it through eventually. But in the meantime, your kisses are falling. Meantime, your kisses are falling. Meantime, your kisses are falling. Fade away. On me.
And that was Your Kisses by Marcoux Corner, wrapping up our first episode.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah! And that's going to wrap up this week's episode of Uncovered A Cappella. I'm your host, Brian Michaels. Be sure to subscribe where your favorite podcasts are available. If you really enjoy the show, we'd appreciate it if you leave us a review. So until next time, I'm Brian Michaels with Uncovered A Cappella.